Sometimes I am there when a mom or a dad tells their children difficult news. Sometimes those moments break my heart. Sometimes they also inspire me. Several years ago, I was there when a dad whose wife had been fighting cancer broke the heartbreaking news to his son that mom would not be coming home from the hospital, that she was going to die. It was gut-wrenching. Dad bravely and wisely talked with his son about their future together as father and son without mom there. Dad said that for both of them, it would sometimes be scary and sometimes lonely and sometimes okay and sometimes sad. And then this happens. And I don't know how this little 8-year-old boy does this. With his cheeks still wet from his tears, he looks up and quietly says this sentence to his dad: "God will take care of me." That sentence became Dad's mantra. God will take care of me. When Dad was terrified or exhausted or brokenhearted or some combination of all of those and more, he would repeat his son's words for himself and his son. God will take care of me. God will take care of us. Today, Jesus brings a child up before the crowd, again inviting us to the simple, innocent trust of a child. To that invitation, part of me says, yes. Another part of me says, yeah, well, that's just so ridiculously hard to do sometimes. In today's first reading, we have these men plotting to harass, shame, and ultimately kill a person simply because his goodness pricks their consciences. They say to themselves, let's see how good he really is. Let's see what he does when we come after him. After all, he claims that God will take care of him. The promise is, God will. Even in the midst of the awful behavior of these men, God will take care of him. Again and again, our scriptures describe a God who has our backs, who does take care of us, and who always will. Now, this is the fundamental act of trust to which we are each called. But I think that often, if not usually, we misunderstand what that means, what that looks like. And here is the key distinction. God never promises that everything will be okay. No. God promises that we can be okay, no matter what life throws at us. I mean, understanding this difference is crucial. God's promise is not about protecting us from all harm or having things work out the way we want them to. The promise is that love is working in us and around us, no matter how things work out. It's not that we would necessarily get what we want, but that we are not alone and will never be abandoned. Love is there and will be there, and who we are in here can and will be okay. I mean, people can make our lives tough, really tough, but no one and no thing can harm who we truly are. we are called to trust that truth and to allow that to gentle us, to calm our fears a bit, to salve our hurts. It's what can allow our spirits to soar, even if our bodies can't. God has our backs. God will take care of us. You know, sometimes we can forget that our lives are all about more than just us, right? That we are in this together, that we are part of something bigger than ourselves, side by side. It is so important for the world that we remember that. It's so important for our own souls that we remember that. But sometimes we can also forget that we each individually matter to God, that we are each precious, that God cares for you, for me. Most of us have tough times, right? Times when we feel scared or broken or discouraged. Maybe when we wonder where God is or if we'd ever be okay again. Maybe we would do well to remind ourselves that we've been through tough times before, but we made it, didn't we? We're here. How did you and God do it? What helped? Who helped? What did you draw on inside yourself? Even when the outcome was not what you wanted or what you truly deserved, you are deep down okay, aren't you? I mean, at least mostly okay. And if these days you don't feel okay, we will believe for you and trust for you that God has your back. You will ultimately be okay. You will. Even Jesus himself had to consciously choose trust. Jesus struggled with all that we struggle with. Jesus buried loved ones, was lied about, was betrayed, abandoned, watched his dreams die before his eyes. On the night before his death, we see Jesus agonizing in the garden, doing his best to find trust in his heart. From his betrayal in that same garden, and ultimately to his very last breath on the cross, Jesus had to choose to trust that God would bring life from it all. And now from our perspective, more than 2,000 years later, we know that on the third day he soared. But as Jesus lived those agonizing days, he did not know for sure that that would happen. He chose to cling to that promise. As for Jesus, so for us. Sometimes things will go well. Sometimes things will go awfully. That's when we are called to choose trust. And as one of my friends in a 12-step program reminded me this week, choosing trust is also a one day at a time thing. Now again, this trust is not about our bodies or about our house or about life or death or affections success, our jobs, our life unfolding as we think it should. It is instead that through it all, the good and the bad, God is there, caring for us, not allowing us to be destroyed, not allowing any moment of our lives to be without love, not allowing us to fall or falter so much that we can't find our way back. Maybe as for that dad, this could become a mantra for us as well sometimes. When the doctor walks in to give the news, God will take care of me. When things are tough in a relationship, God will take care of me. When we wake up in the morning or the middle of the night with too much to do, God will take care of me. When we lie down at night with regrets or fears, God will take care of me. When we find ourselves anxious for any reason or for some reason we can't even name, God will take care of me. No matter what life throws at us, our spirits, our very hearts and souls can soar again. The 8-year-old boy was right. Whether we are 8 or 80, an essential truth for the peace of our souls, God has our backs. God will take care of us. God will.